Morning, illegal granola. How's it going? Well, let me adjust my chair real quick. I think we can go ahead and get started. There we go. Alright, so to recap where we were starting from last time. Get my brushes up. These brushes seem much more clean this time, which is good. Recap what we did last time. We finished all of the tan on our troopers, and we have and the finish is looking really nice on each of these. I'm really happy with that. And we got these markings down, so the only things we have are just a few additional markings to do. So I'll go through them with y'all today. I think the first, and then once we've gotten those last few markings down, we'll be able to start with our washes and stuff like that. So the first thing is that I'm going to start with is that this is the squad captain. You can tell he's the squad captain because, so it's a little bit confusing in Legion, but put these two side by side because they both have this little skirt thing, this called the comma. The one holding the big gun with like, it's kind of got a more circular barrel on it as opposed to this more like two barrels almost on the bottom, or like a, yeah, like it looks like two barrels. The one with a single barrel is the special weapons because it's the gun that's different from everyone. So that guy's not actually the captain, so we're giving him normal trooper stuff. This is technically not, I looked it up, and technically what they did here with the skirt is not really canon to the movies. So we're just gonna go ahead and paint him like a regular trooper. This guy is the captain. Two of the differences that the captain has, I'll get my little pointy tool to show, is that these upper parts of the arms on both of them are going to be this kind of light blue, kind of like this color of blue. And then the other thing is that there's going to be two little kind of yellow squares here. Think like the Admiral insignias of like the Imperials and stuff. Oh, by the way, hello Raylan. How are y'all doing today? How are you and Illegal Granola doing today? Happy Mother's Day all. And then for every trooper, we're going to be putting a couple of yellow dots on the red part of the arm and this little approximated symbol on the left. It kind of looks like a crescent moon. You'll see what I mean when we get to that point. So everyone's going to get the yellow dots and the little red mark on the forehead. And then we're going to add to this guy the blue shoulders, as well as a blue portion across the chest that connects them together. And then these two little yellow like squares to it. So we'll go ahead and start with this guy, get his pastel blue stuff down so that it has some time to dry. Super good. Yeah, in order to do that, we're going to be taking some pastel blue. We're going to be adding just a tiny amount of the flat green to it. Very similar to last time when we did the red with the tiny amount of blue, but we did not want to make it purple. In this case, we're doing the same thing, but with blue adding a little bit of green. So, also let me know if the music can be turned up or down, but I left it about where it is just to be a little more conservative with it. Y'all can see, added about this much blue to it, and then we're going to add just the tiniest amount of green just to see where that leaves us with the color. Talking like that. See what that does. First we'll add some water. By the way, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the chat and the people in the chat who have mothers. It should be all of us to some degree. Got someone you can be thankful for. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So you'll notice that this took a kind of desaturated it a little bit. It made it look a little bit paler, a little less concentrated, which is exactly what we wanted. Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, once again, using our size 2 brush. Let's make sure it's got the tip that we want, like that. Just take some water and just kind of twirl it around until it gives you a tip again. We're going to go ahead and start with the right one because it comes up to meet that black and white band, and then we'll have our reference point of where we want to be painting it on the other side. So go ahead and give this a try. Probably need to do this in 2 coats as well, which is fine. First coat will be a little bit harder, but then when we go ahead and come back with our second coat, we don't have to be as diligent about going to the edges and stuff. Yeah, essentially like that. Yep. And we'll go ahead and approximate where that is. Maybe like 1.5 brush lengths. And then we'll need to be drawing a line across of this one of a similar height. We can kind of see it there, so we'll do it like this so that we have a little bit of a reference point. I'll go ahead and kind of tentatively sketch in that line for us. Right. Yeah, that looks decent. Let's fill that in and see how that's doing. That look even. To me, it looks like we can actually bring it down just a little bit. So we're going to, I think this part actually is kind of coming up a little bit. The line is traveling upwards. Let's try and flatten it like that. We'll ever so slightly bring that line down. Yeah, that looks better to me. Like there's this tiny point we can... Man, I wish I was left-handed right now. Okay, where they're brushed like that. Yep, that makes it very straight. And that looks very much like it's even. That's cool. So the rough point we're gonna be doing the stripe across this chest is just a little line. Let me wash my brush off and I'll show you my pointer. Essentially, like just like a tiny little square that goes across the chest like that. And it's going to be a straight line that goes all the way across. And once we have that, it's going to go up until these little flaps. We'll go up to the flaps and no more. So essentially it's like a certain amount of the chest. So it's like this part of the chest, but only up to the flaps. So they're a little higher up on a real like suit, but on these guys they're further down. So we're gonna pull the line down to about just such that each of those we reach. And we're gonna be aiming to not paint into this groove. We're gonna just paint on top. It's the same color. So something like that. Fill that in now. Perfect. That other side's gonna be a pain though, because it's in a position that's hard for me to go to. My brush. We will be fine. For these types of sections, I would just say that, like, make sure you're not rushing it. Make sure you're taking it as slow as you'd like, because otherwise you're just asking for a lot more grief if you try to do it fast. There's no reason to do it fast. Be confident and get it done eventually. And know it will be worth the wait. These take so much time as it is. There's no reason to try and rush the process for any reason. Let's yeah, there's a bit of a line discrepancy there. I think it's fine. Let's actually take some. I think it looks good. I think that's perfectly acceptable. But we'll go over it a second time now. Go over everything a second time so that we're making sure that we're getting a solid coat. This blue, these color schemes of the Shoretroopers are actually really cool. I wish that there were more excuses to use these, but honestly, I kind of like the idea of it. You know, only one guy gets to look super cool, and The rest are the expendables. There we go. The writing up on that collar line is not quite covered. Actually going to pull the line down a little bit to make it blend some. There we go. That looks pretty good. That way it looks pretty good. Yeah. Pretty happy with that. Awesome. Now, while that's drying, let's go ahead and mix our yellow that we're going to be using for the yellow dots, as well as the, I think we're going to use this to approximate this symbol as well, so that there's a bit of cohesiveness. So, what we will be using is a mix of Everland Sunset and Flash Gets Yellow. Get us a little bit of the in-between of these two, because this one's too dark, this one's too bright, so we want something in between that. Good morning to everyone who's been joining. Thank you all for watching today. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday and Mother's Day. We're done with our tans, so actually we can go ahead and start reusing these wells again. Sticky. Why is this pot so sticky? I think there's a big sticker on it when I first bought it. There's still like a bunch of residue. Did about 3 brushfuls on that one. And then our Flash Gets Yellow next. Flash Gets Yellow is also a, kind of just anecdotally speaking, Flash Gets Yellow is also a pretty loose paint as it is. It's very watery, so I'm going a little lighter on my water for that reason. I do think that this color can afford a little bit more Flash Gets Yellow in it. A little bit too, kind of looks like mustard. So let's put some more Flash Gets Yellow in that, because that's not quite the color I'm going for. I think that's closer, actually. thinking if that's appropriate, like acceptable. I think so. Morning, everyone who's joining in. Alright, so what we'll do first, I'm going to try it on a different guy. Do it on someone who we don't quite care about. I don't know. None of these. I mean, all of them obviously matter. But let's do maybe this one, I guess. One thing to note, the technical place where the dots are supposed to go, the dots go here on your arm. Like, sorry, the dots where we're gonna put them is here on your arm, but where they technically go is here on your bicep. But the thing is, every single one of these people, with the exception of maybe the mortar trooper, has that area completely covered up. So because of that, we're gonna be putting it on the outside of the arm where the shoulder comes and meets it. So that is actually visible. That's a little bit of an improvisation that we're going to be making. This is a very simple thing, not to get super agitated about as we're doing it. All we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting down 3 dots. So this one might be hard to fit in 3 dots on, but it's fine. We'll start from the top. It's not great, but that's a good start, and I think that looks good on our miniature. So we'll go ahead and from a colors perspective. So this one's a bit more pronounced. Try and do that one. Let's add a little bit more yellow. Brush. Basically like that. See? 3 dots. Not too bad. It's also a pretty pronounced one. So all I'm doing is I'm dipping just the tip of the brush like that and wiping it off just a little bit. I'm just letting it touch the armor and come up. There, just like that. And then on this one, and our brush is laying flat so that we can get it in. So that we can get like a line instead of a dot or like a smudge or something. We're laying it flat to make it as much like a line as possible, or bringing it into contact. There we go. Not quite thick enough or not quite dark enough of a color. Try and go in a second time on that. Okay, and we'll get our last guy down. There are 3 little dots down. Let's reload our brush some. go. That looks good. And then for this guy, we're going to go ahead and try and approximate this little square thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a bigger square and then a smaller square next to it. That's what we're trying to do. And just above this little slat in the armor. But it's almost like a square and a stripe. Let's see if I can do it. I think I need more paint. Yeah, that's basically it. Basically what we're going for. Let's try and darken it some. And then we will trying to make it as square-like as possible. Then we'll go ahead and try and get this line down next to it. Kind of like that. Not the greatest, but I think it approximates what we're looking for. Now we're going to be, and I think that's partially because this yellow doesn't show up like super clearly on this armor, which is maybe to be expected. Okay. Yeah. All right. All it's missing now is a little red mark on the helmet. So, for this one, I actually think we can get away with some pure Mephiston red because the consistency of this, well, yeah, it looks like that mark is a fair bit brighter, which is why I think this might work out okay. So we're going to give that a shot. Try our dud dude. One that's got the ugly dots on his arm. So what we're going to need to do is we need to create this kind of little crescent shape. So what I'm going to do is try and just do two dots that are intersecting together, and then try and like kind of bridge it together once we got those two intersecting lines. Kind of like an X. We're kind of aiming for an X, I guess. I like that. That's basically it. Yeah. And I think that color is good for what we're going for. I think it will get darkened down a little bit by the shades, but I think overall that's kind of what we want. Now we're just going to do that on each of our people. Then we'll be ready to start shading them. I'm going this one directly from the pot because there's no need to, when you're dealing with this little paint, there's no need to tone it down or anything. Probably. That seems a little dried off. Try it again. I can tell when I like touch it and nothing comes off. I don't want to. I want to only ever so lightly touch it and then some paint comes off. I don't want to be a having to force it, because then you lose all that accuracy. Not bad. Nice little approximation. We're trying to get it as far into the corner as possible, but some of these it's a little hard. But we're trying to get it as far into the corner as possible. There we go. Good. Only got 4 more to go. I feel good about this. This one's a little tricky to get into. Nice. The lucky part about this one is it's so small. If you even get it close to it on your first try, it's already going to look really good. And then you can like pretty easily kind of like push around your brush to like get it to look correct. Like to fill in your gaps and stuff. Actually, it kind of does just look like a Pac-Man, like pointed to the sky. Sort of what we're going for. Right, let's do this last one, our old captain. And we'll be ready to go to the next step, y'all. Yeah, this is like kind of the fun part where we're much more quickly progressing through each of the minis. Nice. Okay. Now we got all our markings down. Fantastic. Alright. Let me double check what my mixture is going to be now for my shades. So for the shade, what we're going to be using is 4 to 6 of Skeleton Horde Black Templar Contrast Medium. Where's my Skeleton Horde? It is right here in Contrast Medium. And so okay, so what we're going to do is rather simple, but I think will be really fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to be preparing our 4 to 6 mix here, and then we're going to be putting some contrast medium, just pure contrast medium. So to explain to y'all what this does, this is it's not really water, so it's like the consistency of this paint, which is like this paint's consistency is like liquid paint, sort of, where the inside is very clear. It's almost like ink. So when you put it on, but this one's slightly clingier than what would be a wash. A wash is like water. A wash is like water or juice. This is like not even dish soap, like something slightly more thick than that, like maybe like runny, not even honey, but like something slightly thicker that clings a little bit more to surfaces instead of just running off. Maybe like oil. And so we're going to be using this to shade our miniatures, but while we are okay with the surface being hit, with like the raised areas that we don't want to be shaded being hit, while we're okay with this, we don't want it to be clinging too much. We're going to be wiping that away, and the best way to do that without messing with what's going on chemically with the paint is to use this, which is essentially a clear version of these. So you're essentially replacing it with like a clear film. So that is what we're going to be doing here. And we're just going to be working from one part of the miniature all the way down. So yeah, that is the plan. So let's go ahead and prepare that. We're going to be using this brush here for actually like preparing our wells and stuff, and then we'll be using both of our rosemary brushes to actually probably just the retired one to apply it. So 4 to 2 to 6. So since we're gonna have a lot of these to do, we're gonna be here for a while. It's only been 30 minutes, so we got like up to an hour and a half to do all of this. I'm gonna be preparing a much higher amount I'm probably gonna be doing like 8 to 4 to 12 brushfuls. So, as I do this, how's everyone been doing? I've been, so my birthday is coming up, and for myself, as a gift to myself for my birthday, I gave myself, PlayStation 3, the version that, the launch version, 60 gigabyte launch version that can play 1, 2, and 3 games. So, so I've been like tracking down and thrifting for like more games and stuff in the meantime, and it's been really fun. Like I forgot how much I like, executing a plan that I've just come up with of like how to, how to get something that I want. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it at that for now. We don't want to go too crazy. Yeah, we'll go with that amount of each so that we don't waste our paint. Yeah, it's been super fun, like tracking things down. And then I managed to track down the old, not track down, like I got from home. They had all of my old DS and 3DS games. So I grabbed those, and I've been like organizing those and going through them and seeing, being pleasantly surprised by certain things that I had, like not that I knew that I had, but like confirming that they were in the condition that I thought they were in, and then being really happy to know that everything was there. For example, like I found my old copy of Chrono Trigger, pretty exciting, on the DS. That one's kind of a hard one to track down. So let's start by putting some of this in the neighboring well. I think that's a decent amount. That one doesn't have to be that precise, and this one's going to be 12. But yeah, it's really exciting. I forgot how much I like playing the older games, and it just makes me feel like a video game boomer or something, because it's like, oh man, they didn't make it this good, They made it so much better in the old days when there was like single player and stuff like that. You didn't just, I don't know, just, you definitely miss those games. It's going to be 12 brushfuls, I'm hoping. I hope I counted that correctly. But yeah, I've been, that's what I've been doing. So we thin this down quite a bit. Kind of looks like this. Very, murky, black. I hope that's correct look we're going for. It's a very dark brown and then a really dark black, so I think it's correct, to be honest. But honestly though, I'm a little bit worried, so I'm gonna go and add more skeleton horde to this, just in case. Yeah, because this Black Templar is incredibly dark. Yeah, it's so dark. What the heck? I did not add too much though. That's kind of what's throwing me off. This. I think that will work though. I think that's kind of close to the consistency that we want. Yeah, I think so. Sorry, I'm just thinking if this is right. Kind of got me a little worried. Let's see. It looks just like a brown, right? Like a deep. It really just looks like black to me. Let's try and move some of this to another well. Transfer this over a bit. Or add some brown to that and see if that improves things at all. That's so much better. That's already so much better. We're gonna add a little bit of contrast medium to that to make sure that we are keeping it a little thin. That is so much better though. Okay, awesome. So now we're gonna take our retired brush now. Let's go ahead and we'll be doing each part of the armor, section of the armor, separately so that we have time to actually wipe away the paint on the flat areas. You'll kind of see what I'm doing. I'm gonna move this out of the way so that I'm not gonna knock it over. General idea, I'm gonna take this, I'm going to do it all over the miniature like so. Currently it looks dark and ugly, which is okay. So now that we've done that, I'm going to quickly rinse the brush, get some of this contrast, and start wiping away from like the top and the flat areas. Kind of like this. I'm trying to do it in a relatively like uniform direction. Kind of like so. We're also going to do the back here. The thing is, this makes it look like kind of grungy and dirty, but that's okay because what we're looking for is that super grungy and dirty look these troopers are known for. Probably the most busted of the stormtroopers that they have. So we have to move a little bit fast because of the paint drying, which is why we don't do the whole figure. We have a relatively good amount of time before we run out. So let's wipe off the front some. This is like the general idea of it, basically, is that you're just going through and kind of making it look dirty, while also getting a lot of redefinition as we do it. And then once we are done with this section, we're gonna actually rinse our brush off for once, instead of just kind of wiping off here. And yeah, that's the general idea of it. So see, it kind of adds a lot of definition to the face. We're pretty thrilled about. I am going to go over this real quick though. Make it a little darker. Yeah, that's the general idea of it. We're going to be doing that across the entire figure, one section at a time, being a little bit patient, being conservative with the amount that we're doing so that we're not running out of time because it's drying. So yeah, go ahead and it's okay to go over these markings you might have already seen. We're just going to be wiping it away when we're done. Okay, we're going to rinse our brush off, start wiping it away. I'm going to go in a downward motion. So, see how the sort of bringing it back to life, I guess. I'm working pretty quickly so that nothing dries too fast on me. Fine, because this is a kind of, what do you call it, happy and scrappy approach to things. We're not actually wiping away all of it, we're just wiping away from the large flat areas where we don't want it, like a raised flat area like this, where we don't want it to be super super darkened. Yeah, like that. Let's do the other side. And it's okay to do the red as well. All of that's fine. Get in there and make sure I get the inner area of the arm as well. And especially because we're not going to be getting that. And now we rinse the brush off again. We're going to be running over the panel of the arm. But since we've dampened it only with the contrast, and then we kind of wipe our brush up as much as we can, what ends up happening is our brush actually soaks up some of this excess. And that's like how we're getting the effect, essentially. And then for some of these other areas, maybe we're more okay with it being like kind of dark, but we're just trying to now just be a little bit controlled with the finish, so it doesn't like leave these weird like dark spots or splotches. That's the general idea. Let me reposition the sticky tack before we continue. Okay, let's do the chest. The chest is a little bit tricky because it's really hard to get to. That's okay. We'll basically hit where we can. These areas are great though, because if you can't, like these types of paints are great for these types of areas, because if you can't reach it with your brush, it's probably not worth wiping away, because we're just trying to highlight. If you can't reach it with your brush, it's probably not an actual highlight area, you know? Right. We're gonna try and tone back a little bit what's happening here. Not super concerned. Kind of like that, see? But yeah, it's starting to look really good. We'll do a side-by-side comparison between this and one of the other guys so you can see just how much pop we're really getting from this. It's actually quite striking when you put them side by side. We're okay going over these panels. Totally fine. We won't do the, we'll do the belt as like the lower areas, one area. This back area next. Excellent, hit that. See how that really just kind of making everything pop all of a sudden. Like, that's really cool. So it's kind of like a wash, but it's much more controlled than a wash. And some people will even base coat using these paints because it gives you a really nice look on the base coat too sometimes. That looks good. Yeah. Let's do the belt areas next. Try and get in here. let's wipe all that away real quick. We're starting with this kind of a boo-boo that we did. So yeah, so going on the back, we once again don't want that to announced, and then we'll go for these sides, kind of try and bring that back a bit. Not really wanting to cooperate with. There we go. See, that looks good. And all we got left are the legs. The legs are going to look super good once we get over this. We're going to want to go pretty heavy and dark on the legs. Let me try and get that out of here. I have like a little brown splotch inside my contrast paint that I'm not really super thrilled about being in there. There we go. All right, yeah, let's do this. These legs next. We want to be extra generous on these areas that are like ridged, because we want to give as much opportunity for the paint to come in and define them, kind of like that. Now we can go in their contrast paints and like ever so slightly help with these like more flat areas without taking away from all that definition that we've just gotten. Yeah, look how good that leg looks now when we added all that stuff to it. Now it looks like a real, like, defined thing. Do the raised leg now. Like so. This is what I think is the fun part, because like you did all this work to get your base coat down, and then you get this like almost instant gratification for the next part from this shading. We do want to make sure we don't miss a spot when we're dealing with something like this, where we could potentially like have forgotten an area. But once we've done that, we once again will go in and wipe everything. See there. This is very similar. This is actually just kind of like a big shortcutted version of what people did when there weren't contrast paints, which is you would instead wash the entire miniature and just accept that certain raised areas would become darker. And then afterwards you would go in with either the original color, usually the original color that you had under there, and you would re-highlight it back for the raised areas. This is, as you can imagine, since it's only one step and you're seeing how fast we're getting it done, this is a much faster technique. I'm not really worrying too much about what's underneath, because the viewer cannot see that. But this is the general idea of what it will look like. So, pretty dark. We'll probably be doing a little bit of, I think we're doing a little bit of highlighting of it after we're done. And then, let's see. Yeah, so we're going to potentially highlight these. We're going to highlight these back a little bit, but you can already see how much better they look. So, Let me show you side by side. See that? That's what we just got. So I don't know if that's very visible by the differences. I can even get them closer to the camera maybe. If that I don't know if that's as visible to the camera as it is to me, but one of them's very bright and kind of pale and not really much definition, and the other one is very, very, very defined. It's pretty great. That being said, go ahead and move on to this guy. I don't think we're going to be able to finish all of these today, given the pace that we're working at, but I'm optimistic. So once again, we're going to do the head first. We're going to start from the top and work our way down. And then we're going to wipe it away in the same order. Alright, not waste any time and quickly start wiping off the top and the front. After this stage, I'm probably actually going to very quickly reload my contrast medium well. That one's getting a little low. Some good music, y'all. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. Okay, cool. The arms. One thing I'm noticing is that the contrast medium can cause some of the paint to start to run, so you need to be a little bit careful of your application of it when you're dealing with the areas that have markings on them. Like, you don't want to go too crazy and then have to use a bunch of it to get it loose, because it might actually cause the markings underneath to start to blur. So just be careful with that. Alright, let's take our contrast medium. I said that I was going to refill that well. I guess we'll do it after this. We're okay so far. And I'm actually okay with the markings blurring a little bit, because to me that's kind of normal of these types of troopers. They're very grungy, so having faded markings and stuff I think actually just comes with the territory, so I'm okay with it. Okay, let's do that thing I said I was gonna do, actually refill our contrast medium well a bit. Go over this arm now. We're just kind of getting into this rhythm of like, these are, once again, like the case of got to do it for all of them, the whole squad. But, you know, you get into a rhythm, you get good at doing it, and it's not so bad. Start to work a lot faster. And as long as you don't get careless along the way, it's like a good thing. The red arm area is fine. Do these areas of the arms. Yeah. All right, let's get this chest done next. Want my paper towel quick. And this chest area next. Just trying to get our brush into all these areas. This area here is gonna look super good with this contrast paint on it. And we can go in now, brighten it back up a bit. There you go. I'm mostly leaving that interior area alone because I think that looks really good. So now let's do the back. Again, we're okay to hit all these areas that we've done earlier. That's totally fine. Try and clear up that panel a little bit. But overall, I think that looks good. And let's go ahead and do the belt area. All right. Yeah, that looks good. Let's also, if you might have noticed, I've hit the pants a few times, but it really doesn't show up. So I'm not super worried about it. I think it just adds a little bit more definition to the pants, but it's not really nothing to worry about, I think. basically, yeah, just going in and like running my brush over anywhere that would be a highlight. So just, and it kind of gives us a free highlight effect. Yeah, wipe this stuff away. All right, get those legs done. The legs are what looks infinitely better as soon as you do it, so. So we have some family staying with us right now, and one of the people that's staying with us is my girlfriend's little sister. She's like 4, and she discovered Mario this week. She's been wanting to play games, video games, in this room for a really long time now because she knows that there's video games in this room. So she'll be like, oh, I want to play games or whatever. And recently she discovered Super Mario 64 because I was like looking for some age-appropriate games for her, and I thought, well, let's just, you know, let's be an old man and try and start her on the classics. And it's pretty funny. There's a lot of like, she did a lot of things that young kids do that's always kind of goofy and like funny to watch, like the newer, like the millennial kids, like not millennial, Gen Z like kids will do, where she'll be holding the Nintendo 64 controller and she's trying to move her character, and she'll try and like turn the controller to see if that will like see if it's motion activated, and it's like not. So that's kind of funny to watch. But it's been really remarkable watching her go from being unable to use both hands at the same time on the controller to within like 3 days later she's able to actually like kind of navigate around the castle and jump into paintings that she wants to for the levels and stuff, and that's been pretty interesting to watch, to be honest. Like I think the only reason that I wasn't like in total disbelief when I saw it was like I know at that age I was playing games, so I know it's possible. But it was pretty interesting still to watch it, like how quickly she picked it up. She does play like kind of like mobile games. Like she has this Temple Run kind of knockoff on her tablet that she plays a lot of, and she really likes that one. So it's like she's not completely like, you know, foreign to video games or anything like that. But it's still kind of interesting watching her learn so fast. Also, she's kind of cute. She doesn't like it when I beat Bowser because she thinks Bowser's her friend, doesn't want anyone to hurt him. But then as soon as like a spider or something shows up, she like freaks out and tells you to like beat it for her. So it's kind of funny seeing that contrast. Dang, this is looking good. Alright, add a second one to the batch while these are drying. It's a good thing we're doing these now because this will give us plenty of time to dry after the session. Need to drink some water real quick. This is our little mortar guy. He mans the mortar. Gotta make sure he's looking good. I actually lost the gun that goes on his back, and I'm kind of super upset about that, but it's okay. This guy's got no gun on his back. Fine. So add some more of this contrast medium first. All right. Does anyone have any Mother's Day plans? Anything like that? For me, I think I'm gonna Skype my mom evening. We already dropped off gifts for her yesterday. Just in case she's watching, I won't tell y'all what I got. But actually, no, I'll tell y'all. I don't think she has a Twitch. Alright, we got her some fairy garden stuff for her yard outside. And we'll see if she likes it. It was kind of funny though, because when I dropped it off, like this, I knew this is what we got her, and then my parents are telling us like, oh, we've seen some huge snakes outside recently. And they're like, you know, talking about these really scary snakes near the house, and I'm like, oh gosh, maybe they don't want to go outside then. But oh well. You can always set it up inside if it ends up being that serious. That looks good. Just continue with our little system that we've been doing. This one was the one that I did off camera when I first based it, like did the base coating of it. So because I actually did this during the Texas like snowpocalypse, where we had like these blizzards, and then everyone had no power for like weeks, for a week or something at least, and then some people had it missing for much longer. So during that time, I set up some candles and stuff and like worked on this. But as a result, I did it a little bit differently, think differently than I would have done later. So also, to prevent the streaking on this white and black, I've actually adapted my technique to be running along the line so that if it streaks into itself. So it's okay. Sorry. Alright, we will... Oh, this is a really heavy pool that we don't really need it to be that dark. That's better. Yeah, that's better. Good. Okay. On to the next arm. Guy's hands actually need some touch up, I think. But the thing is, they're on areas that are not going to be seen, but I still think it's worth touching them up. We'll do that later. Alright. Those of y'all that have been watching the Metal Gear run, how have y'all liked that? Would y'all like to see more, or would you prefer, like, we're gonna see that game through anyway, but like, would you like to see a different set of games next? Like, what sort of games do y'all like to see? This front panel now. We could do a near run for Raylan, I guess. Might as well maybe put that one in next. It's either that or maybe doing like Resident Evil 8 next, but I'm kind of not ready to play that yet. For probably more reasons than one. I think Doris Code Harry last time made a pretty decent point about being like drowned out when it's a brand new game and there's a bunch of people like playing it. You're gonna be really hard to discover. I think that's a pretty decent point. So I mean, that wasn't really my reasoning for. Yes, it's nice to have viewers. It's nice to have people dropping by and hanging out with us. But my reasoning for playing is not to just get people to watch me. Like, I want to do stuff that I enjoy. So if I enjoy it, you know, I don't see a whole lot of problem playing it. But it's sort of a thought I've been having. Consideration, I guess. All right, the back panel now. Need to sit further back in my chair, I think. Yeah, that's better. And leaning over a little unhealthily. All right. Good. Looking good as always. If I do say so myself. All right. Looking pretty good. All right. This one particular section, like these belt areas, that actually doesn't need a whole lot of meddling with for wiping things away, because most of that you want it to be shaded. I think it's okay that we're not doing that as much. All right, let's get these legs in. Gotta say, this one section is like what I'm living for right now. This is so satisfying to see it happen. Like, we've been setting up for this moment just so that we can see that instant definition kick in. Like, that's so cool. Yeah, that just looks super good. Let's run our like a little targeted area more along here so that we get more maybe standard lines. Try to get some more lines in there. That. Like, just because it's easy, know that you can still get in and be a little bit precise with some of your stuff if you want. So yeah, that looks fantastic. Let's do the last leg and then we'll move on to number 4. All right. All right, this is kind of interesting. I don't think that this looked as good as it could be. There we go. That side looks good though. Okay, yeah. Awesome. Mr. Mortar is pretty and ready to go. Now we got another standing guy. Also, I'm just kind of looking at these. These guys, as they dry, they do look really good. As they start to dry, they look super good. All right. We have a standing guy now. Oh, I just realized my watch that I've been keeping time with is literally 5 minutes slow, and I don't even think it's... I think it's completely slow, actually. That should help. Okay. Better. Alright, let's do the head on this guy. This one will be a little bit trickier to get into those parts of the head, but that's okay. Nice, nice. We're gonna do the face a little bit. Not like that. We'll try our very best to get some out of the left side. Well. But it's not a big deal because it is more shaded in there anyway, so I think it would look good with a shaded area. Yeah, there we go. Okay, sweet. To the arms. Okay. Interestingly, some of the times that we blurred these lines incorrectly earlier, it actually is kind of correcting it to a degree, which is a good thing. I think we're happy about that. This is the super dark one that I think we need to tone back a lot. But overall, not too bad. Yeah, I think so. And then next for this arm, we're just basically working our way through it all now. Wipe that stuff away from the red areas and stuff. Nice. Let's go ahead and just go straight to the panel, because panel area will help us get this inner part of the arm as well. Yeah, nice. Like looks pretty decent. Do the back now. Okay. Okay. Nice. As you can see, we're starting to speed up a little bit, because a lot of this is not particularly hard to do. But once we get into a pattern of it, we can actually just start kind of churning through it very quickly. It would be great if it would be great if I can get the next 3 done. So we'll see if I can power through it really quickly. I'm like cautiously optimistic that we can, but we'll see what we can do. Okay. And then the legs. go. This one, the wash is also going to run down the front. So we'll want to clean it up a little bit there. All right. All right. Sounds like someone's having a bit of a tantrum in the other room, but that's okay. I can just hear some 4-year-old unhappiness. Maybe I'm wrong. Looking good. All right, let's go on to the next one. I'm gonna refill my contrast well again. We seem to be blasting through that one quite a bit more than we're going through our actual mix, which is good because we wanted our mix to last so it stays consistent across them. There's a little bit of variation currently across our different troopers because we did the tan mix on different sessions, which made the tan slightly variating like across different models. But this single shade is going to be a nice cohesive way to bring it all together. So being able to get this all be the same shade will be really important and very helpful. I do spend a little bit of extra time on the face as well as on the arms to make sure that we're doing those correctly, but overall still we can work pretty fast in this section and, like, you know, we have a little bit of freedom to do that. What I'm kind of learning with these contrast paints is you kind of just dip your brush in there, get it enough to loosen the contrast paint that's already on there, and then you can brush it off. Yeah, you're sort of just getting on there to unsticky it, essentially. And once you've done that, you can pretty easily wipe it away. The song has arrived. Saddest song. The feels are here, y'all. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm not even sure if it's actually causing the white paint to run. I think it's just that the contrast medium has a bit of like a white film to it, so it kind of like makes it look like the white is running, but that's actually not what's happening, is my new suspicion. All right, cool. Gonna keep pushing ourselves. See if we can't make it through the end. Our brush is a little bit abused right now, but that's why this is a retired brush. Not a retired brush, just like a able to take abuse brush. Gotta designate one of them for it. Alright, this chest area is gonna be a little bit interesting to figure out how to do. Just gonna get in there though, where we can. There we go. Hey Raylan, you have so many textbooks still. Yeah, that's kind of an interest. It's kind of funny. I had an opposite like discovery because I think I either gave my textbooks to you or they're still at like our parents' house or something. But for me actually, as part of studying for a new interview, I actually bought textbooks. So I was like, geez, this is kind of weird. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Still, you're probably going to have those textbooks for the rest of your life if you don't sell them. So they could be useful though. Do I want some of your CS textbooks? I mean, not particularly, but seeing as you don't have room for them, I do have a bookcase where they can go. That's what you want to do. I can hang on to them for you. Alright. Get this belt area done. Probably the most visible of the belts we've done yet. Floating in and out of sleep to the sweet sounds of the stream, but now I'm crying because the little soldier boy didn't come home, marching home. Yeah. So sad. Oh, we did start watching Invincible last night on our own. And I like it a lot. It kind of... I am laughing at the idea that Omega Man looked just like the actor. Like, that's so funny to me. Like, the fact that they gave him a mustache and everything, I was just rolling just at that alone. The fact that they depicted him as such, I thought that was amazing. But we've liked it so far. I think it's got a lot of, like, it kind of, honestly, it just kind of reminds me of Incredibles. Oh, and one of those government, like that main, like, right-hand man dude, he looks like he was just, like, straight out of King of the Hill. It's pretty funny. They just, like, picked him up and dropped him in this show. Also, the way that they've creatively come up with like various villain concepts has been very cool. Like, everything has been, some of them have been original, most of the villains have actually been incredibly original, even if the heroes themselves seem to be parodies of real heroes. Was the ending of episode 1 expected? Absolutely not. Though, I mean, when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, so here's the twist, I guess. It's been fun theorizing, trying to figure out, like, the why. Because we're, like, in episode 4, I think, at this point. We finished episode 4, I think. So it's been fun, like, trying to figure out the why of why the ending to episode 1 happened. That's been a lot of fun. Like theorize and talk about. I'm not even sure if it will be answered in this season. But we were definitely... The reason Keely really wanted to see it, she actually knew about it before y'all told us about it. One of the big reasons she wanted to see it was because Glenn is the main character. So, Steven Yeun. So... She was really excited to see Glenn Coco, her favorite character from Walking Dead. Everyone's favorite character from Walking Dead. Okay, looking good. Let's see if we can power through 2 in 10 minutes. I don't think it's going to happen. Well, Donald being Bobby is a great running joke. Love how they abstained from any violence for the entirety of episode 1 until then. Pretty stacked. Yeah, the cast itself is pretty crazy. Like Mark Hamill being what do you call it? The Edna Mode character. It's pretty funny. And it's like funny because Mark Hamill, you kind of expect him to like have this crazy like character with like Joker voices and all that stuff and like graveliness, and now he's just playing some normal dude. Like that was really funny to me. Alright, we're gonna try and power through this one and the next one, so bear with me a bit. But I just really don't want to make this mix a second time just for one model. So we're gonna power through it. Mom is Sandra Oh. Yeah, I noticed that too. We're going through the cast and like kind of lining them up. Also, was his name Rex Splode? He is I recognized him from the Big Mouth show, which is pretty funny. He has this like super annoying voice, but it's really funny. Right. Looking at my finished bookshelf and have to contend with the fact they don't have room for 4 more Berserk volumes. Have you been collecting them? I didn't realize you've been getting physical mangas. Is this the original bookshelf, or is this a new bookshelf to me? Yeah, I seriously think that this contrast is actually lifting the white, causing the white to bleed over. I'm actually 100% convinced that that's actually what's happening. My original theory is correct. But why is that? Okay. Nah, same bookshelf we have. Sorry, light novel for Katana Gatari and Nier. Just for Berserk and visual novels for Katana. Oh, okay. Oh, light novels. Gotcha. Okay. I didn't know Katana Gatari had anything. Like, I just figured it was like a manga. That's interesting. Okay. Get this chest armor done. Get this chest armor did. And we're gonna have to go in and clean up that arm that we just nicked. And that face that we just nicked. Oh jeez. Okay. That'll be fine. We can just literally wipe it away a second time. OG light novels by the same author of the Monogatari series. Amazing translation. Something. Nissiosen. What does that mean? Nissiosen? I don't know what that means. Is that just the name of it? All right. We're almost done with this one. We have 5 minutes to go. We can probably finish up our captain and only go like 5 minutes over, which is, I think, okay. Hope y'all will bear with me for that. Don't want to waste a step and paint more paint when I don't have to. Okay. Looks good for the most part. Try and brighten up this white just a little bit, though. There we go. Okay, let's do the legs real quick. Oh, that looks so good. Looks so amazing. Beautiful legs. Alright. That's the author. I think it's just a palindrome handle that he uses. I would really like Berserk, though. Basically KDM and Dark Souls manga. That makes sense because I'm pretty sure KDM is actually heavily inspired by Berserk. Like, I think that is actually one of the inspirations for the game. So it would not be surprising to see that. Like, I remember some people on the subreddit have, like, put these pretty lengthy comparisons between the two and basically said, like, there's no way that is not inspired by Berserk. Did you end up playing KDM this week, Raylan? I know they were looking for a fourth. Very briefly, Dark Souls was inspired by Berserk too. Well, that makes sense then. The two products that came out of it would definitely be present probably in it. Just briefly, were you able to follow this time? Have you been able to like understand and keep up with the rules this time around? Okay. Looking good. Alright, y'all, we're going to power through on this captain. I'm going to do it. A little more, they're explaining more of the meta choices. Yeah, that's really good of them. I think part of the issue was that they, or like we, I guess when we play, don't do that enough. So, nice to see that they're doing that, finally. But yeah, bear with me. We're going to make this captain real quick. Then we'll have the complete squad. And we can have a fresh palette for doing highlights next week. and got boned on some rolls and missed an innovation. Ah. I don't know which, are y'all doing a normal campaign or are you doing, one of the special ones? Children of the Stars, yeah, that's a good one. I'm glad they didn't pick Children of the Sun, People of the Sun, because I would love to experience that for the first time with multiple people. Cool. Helmet looks good. Go to the arm real quick. I'm going to be extra careful when we do this arm, because I don't want to like make everything bleed even more when there's blue added into the mix. I think it's just the white that like comes up right now. That's a note to self, I guess. Don't use Schmick white the next time we do this. Try and use like a Caramite white or something, a different white. Maybe Vallejo's. Because it seems that the Schmick one wants to come up. Yeah, it definitely wants to come up. Yeah, look at how good this guy's starting to look just from like that shading added to it. All of a sudden just adds so much definition in the miniature. These guys would be tabletop ready just from this step. So I think I'm going to go ahead and continue with an extra highlighting round of each of these, but nothing too intense anymore. But yeah, this is the last one. Should probably be done in another maybe 5 minutes, I'd say. We can go on with our day. Sorry y'all for going over a little bit. Ooh, we got a uninterrupted chest piece that we can highlight finally. I'm gonna go ahead and get the front belt as well. Quickly wipe off this arm before that becomes permanent. And yeah, we're just gonna wipe down the front a bit. Brighten that area up some. Make sure that this is not super ridiculously dark. But overall, it looks very good. We'll hit each one of these belt buckles. Yeah, that looks good. Let's do the back. Once again, we're gonna hit the belt as well this time because there's no other part of the belt that we have to worry about, so we might as well. Ooh, let's try and get that little mark off. Doesn't look like it's coming. Oh well. We can brighten that manually later. Alright, let's do the legs and we'll be done. Alright. For all that's going well. There we go. A little bit of cleanup like that. Makes it. Actually, I'm not quite happy with this little belt area. I think that needs some more definition still. And we'll wipe it away. Okay. Now let's do the other leg and we'll be done. I think our contrast paint is starting to get a little thick on us. But this is the last one and it's had some time to dry some. That's okay. That's alright. Still looks super fantastic. Yeah, one thing we want to do is like when the paint is flowing down, you don't want the shading to be like a stained, like an old glass effect where it's like super thick at the bottom because it's just been flowing down. Like you want it to be kind of even. So I kind of intentionally target the bottoms, try and keep that look. Okay, sweet. So do a quick class photo of them so you can see how we did. And then we're going to quickly clean up our brushes and then we'll call it a stream. How does that sound? Overall, I'm extremely happy with how things went today. We got our final, all of those final like markings down, and then got some amazing shade down on these miniatures. They're already looking fantastic. We could just say, this looks great, let's go for it. But we're gonna do a little bit of highlighting next time, and I'll also probably be able to at least get some of the basing steps begun. So, yeah. That one's good to go. Now do our other brush that we used only a little bit, but still get a nice wash. Make sure all that soap is coming off. And yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for staying over a few minutes with me today. But I really enjoyed it as always. And obviously stay tuned for the other streams we have coming up. So if you like retro games, we're playing those right now on Thursday. We're actually working our way through Metal Gear Solid 1 for the PS1. And then Tekken's on Saturday. So the Thursday stream will be at 8:45 p.m. Central, and the Saturday stream will be at 9 a.m. Central, kind of like this one. So yeah, once again, everyone, happy Mother's Day. Have a great rest of your Sunday. I hope everyone's doing awesome this weekend. And yeah, I will catch you all on Thursday. Have a great one, everyone.